Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about kind of a different topic here today, and that's kind of why representation matters to me. I just think that in kind of the community and kind of where we are in like political climates and social climates right now, it's really important to point out reasons why representation is so important. I think that sometimes we get stuck in this bubble of I have to be diverse, so that we check off boxes in order to watch more diverse movies, read more diverse books, learn more about diversity, but neglect to add the fact that while we're taking in all this media that shows us these diverse voices and diverse lives, that we don't take them in critically. We take them at face value, and sometimes some of the themes and messages underlying those things are ones that we should be also taking into consideration, as even though it is diverse, the stereotypes and messages that are being conveyed could prove more harm than good if this movie, this book, this TV show, or this piece of art became more popular. So this is just kind of why I'm making this video, and I think it's very important so that you guys know where I'm coming from when I seem to be judging a book that's very popular and really diverse, a little more harshly than some of the other booktubers. I do want to read things critically. This does not mean I will be disrespectful. I am going to keep same amount of respect, but these are my reasons as to why I will be thinking a lot more critically about certain books rather than inhaling, taking them in at face value, because that's also important to me as well. But without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So one of my biggest reasons why I think representation is so important, it gives them a face to idolize, even if that face is fictional, even if the face doesn't have a face if it's a book. I think it's just so important for little kids to have someone to look up to. I would have killed for someone in the books I read or the movies I watch to have looked like me, to be a Filipina, to have validated my existence as a member of the LGBT community, and to just kind of give me a space. I would have loved it, and seeing the effect that Black Panther has on little African American children, and what Love, Simon will hopefully have for young LGBT teens and children, and what Wrinkle in Time will have. I have yet to see the movie, but everyone is raving about it. I just think that's so important to me, to have these faces, these multiple faces representing different parts of the community in such a beautiful light, without having the stereotypical gay best friend or the stereotypical negative depiction of African Americans in society, and giving these kids someone to look up to as they grow up. Come on, it's our first one of the first African American superheroes we've had on the big screens, and that's just really big for a lot of people. And like I said, it would have been so great to have that growing up, and I'm just so happy that some of these little kids will have that as they grow up and have someone to dress up as and whatnot. I touched on this topic before, but I said it also gives them a sense of validation, their feelings and their existence in general. A lot of the times, a lot of the LGBT rep is just the funny best friend, the one that we can all crack a joke at, and it's never one that we take seriously. So to have something like Love, Simon, or some of the other popular LGBT reps there, shout out to my shadow hunters, kind of show us these are LGBT couples in parts of the community, and they're shown in such a positive and very non-stereotypical light that I think it's so important to have growing up, and it just gives them a space. That's one of my other things. It makes them feel accepted in the community, and I know a lot of people have said that well, they have there are LGBT people, so therefore they have a space, but it's it's different than that. It's the fact that yes, we have these minor characters, but they often get killed off. So to have a main character that lives and has a happy ending is huge, because it tells them not only are they accepted into the community, but also for the fact that they are allowed to exist in this space. Because being told there are gay people out there is not the same as seeing someone come into their person as a member of the gay community, and it's just so important to me and so heartwarming to be able to see these things come and whatnot. The next point I have is that it just makes them feel like they belong where they're currently living, in their community. A lot of the times we see little kids ask why there isn't a X kind of this X race of superhero, this wise and this kind of Barbie doll, which has changed, which I'm very proud of. but it's just, it gives them a space like they belong here, because they're always like growing up, even if the message isn't very explicit, you're being told that being white and tall and skinny and blonde, having blue eyes and light skin is the norm. It is what is most accepted, and that gets ingrained because that is all they see even growing up, and it causes this kind of internal hatred and external hatred from others. So I think it's just really important to have that there, so that way they know that they belong in the similar space as those with lighter skin, or those who have different eye shapes than they do, those who have darker hair than they do, those who have bigger, who weigh more than they do, have more curves. I think it's just really important for that to be out there for them to see and grow up with, and know that while they may not look like the norm, they still do belong in this community and they have a place here. I think that it's also really good to give us a place with a lot of complexity, not a lot of stereotypes. We see that a lot in kind of the early 2000s kind of situation with some of the books and the movies and the TV shows. We have a lot of placeholder characters. We have a lot of those who are there just to move the plot along, which isn't very fair. And I think that having characters shown in TV show that they are capable of feeling more. They're not just a stereotype. They're more than just being able to do math or being really good at sports or whatnot. Gives us, or being more than just being the bad guy, gives them more room to grow as a person. It doesn't lump them into the stereotype as they grow up, because those stereotypes are so harmful for little kids, you guys, you don't even know. So it gives them more room for them to kind of grow as a person, which I think is very important. But yeah, it gives them room to grow. It gives them the ability to think, if this person in this TV show can become this career or becomes this career, then what's stopping me from doing it? And I think that's really important, especially considering some POCs are locked into certain fields, like we have our Asians in our STEM fields. And as an English and psych major, it's really difficult and really jarring walking into a room for the first time in a semester and realizing you are the only one of your ethnicity in there, which isn't much of a hindrance, but it does give you that, it slaps you back into perspective how very little there is of your point of view in this climate, in this room, in this major that you're in. So I think it's just really important to have more complex characters in here. Along the same vein, I think that it shows that they become more than just a stereotype. They're not just this statistic of graduating. They have this ability to become something more and something better than what they expected of themselves, which is so great to see. Younger POC or LGBT kids knowing what they want to do with their lives and knowing that they have a safe space to go to, as well as they're not just a nameless figure that everyone's like, oh yeah, they're there in TV shows and whatnot, but it's the side character that shows up once every few episodes. As well as the fact that they don't feel alone. It gives them, if they feel they are in an unsafe environment, however, what position they may be, they can just turn on the TV or watch a book, or or read a book, or listen to the book and know that this character is there and that they have a kind of a safe space to go to where this character that looks like them, that feels like them, that acts like them, is treated in such a way that makes them grow out of this terrible environment that they are in, which can give them some hope to do the same. And as well as it just gives hope for little kids to fit into these roles in the future. Like I said, you haven't seen a lot of POC actors out there, not a lot of POC writers, but that's slowly starting to break the mold. But I think that if you give these kids more ability to kind of fit in these places, these writers, these artists, these musicians, these actors, and whatnot, it just gives them more of a hope that if they can do it, then I can do it too, and I think that's so important for people to see. But that is it for this video. Like I said, this will be the reasons why I will try to judge these diverse books a little more critically than some of, I will always judge books more critically, but this is the reason why sometimes I'll be a little extra critical, because representation is so important to me, and I think that we need, as people who absorb all the things that we are given, we need to go ahead and make sure that what we are putting out there as someone who will be recommending these books and reviewing these books should have, instead of being well, I don't want to be too mean, but you have to know that you can't not be a little harsh, so that way the people who are going to be picking up these books with your recommendation in mind, know like your full thoughts and what there might be problems and things that they should look out for. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video on Saturday. If you guys like these videos, hit like and I'll try to upload more. Hit subscribe, and then all of my social media info will be down below. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Bye.